can to help those caught up in the attack. These were innocent victims enjoying a Friday night out with friends and family, no doubt at the end of a hard week. They were not seeking to harm anyone. They were simply going about their way of life, our way of life. And they were killed and injured by brutal, callous murderers who want to destroy everything our two countries stand for. Peace, tolerance, liberty. But we will not let them. We will redouble our efforts to wipe out this poisonous extremist ideology, and together with the French and our allies around the world, stand up for all we believe in. I've just chaired a meeting of COBRA to review the security situation here in the United Kingdom. The threat level is already at severe, which means an attack is highly likely and will remain so. Our police and intelligence agencies work round the clock to do all they can to keep us safe. Ever since the coordinated firearms attack in Mumbai in 2008, we've all been working together to ensure we could respond to such an attack. This summer, police and other emergency services carried out a major exercise to test our response for multiple firearms attacks. And in the light of last night's attacks, we will of course review our plans and make sure we learn any appropriate lessons. It is clear that the threat from ISIL is evolving. Last night's attack suggests a new degree of planning and coordination, and a greater ambition for mass casualty attacks. And we must recognise that however strong we are, however much we prepare, we in the UK face the same threat. That's why we continue to encourage the public to remain vigilant, and we will do all we can to support our police and intelligence agencies with the resources and the capabilities that they need. The terrorist aim is clear. It is to divide us and to destroy our way of life. So more than ever, we must come together and stand united and carry on with the way of life that we love and that we know and that will never be moved off. I hope to speak to President Hollande later today, and I'll make clear that we will do whatever we can to help. Your values are our values. Your pain is our pain. Your fight is our fight. And together, we will defeat these terrorists. Thank you.
British Prime Minister David Cameron has been to Paris for breakfast talks with French President François Hollande. Cameron visited the Bataclan in the French capital, scene of the worst loss of life during the Paris attacks. He, President Hollande and Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo laid roses. Then the two men went to the Élysée Palace for discussions at France's request on how to put together a coalition to fight ISIL in Syria. We're going to intensify our airstrikes and choose targets that inflict the maximum possible damage on this terrorist army. And our aircraft carrier that's just arrived in the combat zone has a clear mandate to hit ISIL, and to hit ISIL hard.
Mandaté pour frapper et frapper dur contre Daesh.
Cameron came with immediate offers of help.
I firmly support the action that President Hollande has taken to strike ISIL in Syria, and it's my firm conviction that Britain should do so too. Of course, that will be a decision for Parliament to make. Today, I've offered President Hollande the use of RAF Headquartered for French aircraft engaged in counter-ISIL operations and additional assistance with air-to-air refuelling.
The Cameron meeting was the first in a packed diplomatic week for Hollande. On Tuesday, he flies to Washington to meet President Barack Obama, and then he meets with Angela Merkel in Berlin and Vladimir Putin in Moscow in the following days.
I watched the documentary Never Again Is Now. This is so important to watch now. I mean, shocking the timing. We found this woman. She's Jewish. She was experiencing hate, and she happens to be a lesbian. Now the left is kind of going, geez, she's Jewish, so I should hate her, but she's lesbian, so I should love her. What to do? She and her spouse, her significant other, were living in Amsterdam. The interesting part of this story is both of them are survivors. Their families are survivors of the Holocaust. She's walking down the street one day, and there is a anti-Israeli rally, pro-Palestinian rally. And she has it on tape, and they are shouting, gas, 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 gas the Jews. It's horrifying. And she's standing there, and she reaches up and she takes her Star of David and puts it into her shirt so nobody can see it. And she's standing there as everybody's going by, and she's seeing her neighbor on the curb cheering them on. And she's like, this is a good friend of ours. This is our neighbor. And she remembers that that's what her parents said. You can't trust anybody. All of a sudden, people that you knew and loved, all of a sudden were with the Nazis and like, yeah, get the Jews. So they've moved now to America. And she talks about, you don't understand. Americans don't understand. We came here because this is the last place. If America falls, if America doesn't stand and doesn't stand against this, we're all dead. We're all dead.